What's going on, family? Welcome to the very first episode of the Lead Your Lineage Podcast.
The first.
The very first. And not the last. And not the last.
Definitely.
Standing on that. What's going on, cuz? How you feeling?
Nothing much, cuz. Just another day, man. Feeling melanated. Feeling grateful, man. Feeling excited. We shooting this podcast. We actually manifested. We talked about it. We did hard work. We worked on the workbook. Now we here.
That's it. Faithful that works.
Yes, sir.
We in this thing. Yes, sir. So before we get into it, I got to start off with the affirmations.
Got to.
This is how I'm creating the habit of starting my day like this, cuz.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to share this with the community.
Okay.
With the family. So I'm just gonna go down the list.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
I release all things I'm good at to make room for my spiritual gifts. I have the capability and availability to solve any problem I focus on. I'm becoming a healthy and holistic version of masculine energy balanced with feminine energy. I inspire people through my actions. I am grateful. I am content. I am ambitious. I'm a powerful manifestation of my mother and father becoming one. My magic manifests melanin magnificence. I have a duty, responsibility, and obligation to create generational abundance for my family and for my heirs. I will live a long, high-quality, disease-free lifestyle and pass down assets to my children. I strive to be the only and the first. I'll retire my mom from her job. I am what I am because my spirit is divine. I am successful in life. I am powerful and prosperous. I am a continuation of my elders and ancestors. I am noble and righteous. I love myself. I believe in myself. I appreciate myself. I am peace. I am power. I am prosperity. I attract what I am. I'm a work in progress and the progress is working. I'm an analytical creative that manifests strategic solutions that heal, heighten, and honor those in need. I will be retired and serving how and when I want and need to by 45. I'm aligned with the source. My mind is free. My spirit guides me to the truth. I have a calling on my life to build. I am decisive. I am determined. I love the process to success. I am intelligent. I can, I will, I must. I am the change I desire to see for my family. I am inspiration. I am confident. I am courageous. I am a champion. I'm more than I appear to be. All the world's strength and power rests inside of me. I get at least 1% better every single day. I'm one of the most intelligent beings to ever walk the earth. I'm a winner. I am wealthy. I walk confidently in my melanated skin. I am free. I am fearless. I am unstoppable. I am phenomenal. I am happy. I strive for excellence in everything I do. I trust the process. I receive all otherworldly support freely. Ashe.
Dope.
What you think, cuz? What you think?
That was dope, man. There's two things I want to hit on because you said, I believe in myself.
Absolutely.
Man, before we get deep into the podcast about what this podcast is about, I want to go over that real quick, man. You said I believe in myself. That's one of the biggest first steps of leading your lineage or leading anything or becoming of any type of sort of a better person and achieving any type of goal you set. You have to believe it. There's going to be times where your partner might not believe it. There's going to be times where your mama might not believe it. It's going to be times where your sister, whoever's around you, your best friend, not going to believe it. But if you believe it and you manifest it yourself, it all creates. And another thing you said was, what you say, cuz? You said something about you are who you are.
I am what I am because my spirit is divine.
No. You said you believe.
Oh, I attract what I am?
Yeah, I attract what I am.
Yep.
That one right there, birds of the feather flock together. How many times you heard your grandma tell you that? That's
man, them cliches, they make sense.
Them cliches make sense, man.
Now in adulthood, for sure.
Yes, if you a person with low vibrations, low energy, that's the type of attraction you gonna get. People always running around here like, dang man, I'm tired of being in this same predicament, this same choices around these same people. That's because you haven't changed within.
That's it.
You create your own reality. So whatever you have within is gonna come without. For real. It's all, think about it, cuz everything in this world was first thought within. Then it came out. The invention of a wheel, it was inside his brain. Then it came out. The car, it was inside his brain. Then it came out. So it's all within. Whatever you have within turns to reality.
No, that's real. That is spot on. And that's like the perfect segue into what the Lead Your Lineage podcast is about.
Agreed.
So I just want to give the people what it's about, because if you don't mind.
Go ahead, hit them with it. What we about, because tell them what Lead Your Lineage is all about.
Absolutely.
Because
so the Lead Your Lineage podcast is the #1 source for individuals that are seeking to end generational dysfunction.
Say what, cuz?
To end generational dysfunction. So if you're an individual that's seeking to end generational dysfunction, this is for you. Now, generational is broad, dysfunction is very specific.
Like what?
So, for example, right, I'll use this example, health, our physical health, right? There's a lot of dysfunction within the melanated community, within melanated people all across the world. We don't eat the diet that we're supposed to be eating.
Agreed.
Like physiology, our physiology is not meant to break down certain types of foods, but we constantly consume them. Like we don't drink enough water. We don't exercise enough. Things of that nature, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much underneath that. It can go into trauma, you can go into mental health, X, Y, and Z. But the outward expression of a lot of things that we deal with health-wise is because of what we're putting in from without. So being able to break down that dysfunction specifically in the health space, the physical health space, can help us heal a lot of different things that we are dealing with, and we can go through that. We're going to touch on that in a whole different podcast episode. But that's one thing, and then the broad, the generational. When you go through a healing journey, you're healing your cells within your body. You're healing yourself. You're also healing your parents, your grandparents. Y'all all have the same cells. All the ancestors, and you're also going to provide a solid, healthy foundation for your children's children. So you're cleansing yourself internally, which heals past generations, heals you currently in the moment, in the present, and also sets the future generations with a healthy foundation.
And all that ties into lineage, cuz. Break it down. Break down what the lineage means, cuz.
Yeah, so lineage is essentially your bloodline, your family, your people. So when you look at royal families, you look at tribes, you look at villages, you look at households, however you want to look at it, right? There's always a leader in some capacity, and I personally believe everybody's a leader.
Yes.
Everybody's a leader in some way. Some people may lead their household, some people may lead a business, some people may lead a country, some people may lead in having the most money in the world, some people may lead being impoverished, some people may lead being the healthiest person in the world, being the most peaceful. Like, it's a lot of different places to lead. We have to be able to cultivate whatever that leadership is and teach that to your lineage, your bloodline. And then from going within, going without in your actual bloodline and your lineage, then you go out into the community, and that's how we impact people, and that's how we change the world.
Real talk. And I want to go into more depth about when you said it's different type of leaders. A prime example of one of a simple way of leading is leading your own lifestyle. And that's one of the segments we're going to get in here to Lead Your Lineage. Leading your own lifestyle. You might not be a leader of a community. You might not even be the leader of your house. Probably you don't even have a house, but you will always be the leader of your lifestyle. Always. Whatever you lead and whatever you do, what you read, what you sow, you reap what you sow.
Absolutely.
So you always leading your reality. And that's one of the many things we're going to get into this podcast. So y'all got to stay in tune. Make sure y'all hit the like. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all subscribing. Because this right here, it's all about leading your lineage. We're going to go through everything, 360, all around, a circle, making better decisions, making wiser decisions, picking better people to hang out with, going to a spiritual realm, getting more into who you are, emotions, logic, 360. When I say 360, I mean all around like a circle.
Yeah, we definitely want to focus on leading your lineage from a 360 degree perspective, where we're being a well-rounded, a complete person.
Yes.
That's what we are for sure with the podcast. But I definitely wanted to ask you this because yeah, since this is our first episode, let's give the people a little bit of who we are.
Okay.
So who is Taron Shumpert?
Well, my name is Sean Shumpert, but most people know me as Ronnie Wrong. You know what I mean? Ronnie Wrong to dime, Ronnie Wrong. Nah, I'm messing with y'all. Man, my name's Taron, but I do go by Ronnie as well. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I run my podcast with my big cousin, and yes, this is my real bloodline cousin. Absolutely. And I also have my own clothing line called The Original People in the Eve Gene. It's it's representing melanation across the globe. So everything I do has a purpose. I guide. I do a lot, man. I'm here. I'm active. I'm an activist. I'm always in the community trying to change things. Me and my big cousin here, we always talk about being active, actually doing things. We manifest. We manifest this right here. So I'm always open up and trying to grow as a person, and that's who I am. That's just who I am, plain and simple. A great husband, a great father, and a great person all around. Who is you, because let them know who you are. Let them know who Sean Washington is, and give me a 360 view of who you are.
Got you. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know what I'm saying? My name is Sean Washington, the son of Herman Washington Jr. and Dorothy Washington.
Really?
Yes, I always honor my mother and father when I do things such as this. Also, I am an entrepreneur, specifically a podcaster with the Lead Your Lineage Podcast, and co-host with my cousin, of course.
You already know.
I'm also diving deep into the cryptocurrency atmosphere as well.
Everybody tap into crypto right now. If you haven't, get into it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be something that, in my opinion, is a financial liberation tool for our people.
Okay.
For all people, but specifically our people. That's who I'm preaching it to. So I do those two things. Previously, I was in the real estate space actively, building a real estate company. Then in 2021, it was real spiritual for me. And I had to really do some self-reflecting. And shout out to my life partner, Kobe. She really helped me see a lot of blind spots within myself. And I spent a lot of time with myself. And the way I was communicating and the way I was living my life, when I went around other people, I wasn't able to relate because I was so focused on self and I wasn't being spiritually led. So I had to get that spiritual grounded, that spiritual foundation in 2021. And now I know the spaces I'm in now, I have to be spiritually led because it's a whole different type of person. So in my past, I've been around people that are very similar to me. Like we have the same, we damn near cookie cutter,
yeah.
Right? And now it's like, okay, I know how to get in different spaces and learn how to effectively communicate with people that are different than me, because to go to the next level, like it's an African proverb that says if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. I'm all about going far, and I'm all about going far the correct way. So I know I have to be able to communicate that, and I'll have to see that and help paint that picture for those people. So being able to spiritually grow to ascend, essentially, here on earth, that's really been, in 2021, that was my biggest thing. Also, I'm a guide, also known as a mentor. Been doing that for 5 years. Been working with young men here in the city of Indianapolis. Do some more stuff through June's Corner program as well.
Yeah. We both guide the youth into better situations at Him by Her.
Absolutely, yeah. Being an advocate for the youth for the past 5-6 years has really helped me walk in my purpose on purpose. They helped me sharpen my iron. So I can, and that's like when I'm most vulnerable is when I'm with young people, because it's like, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made growing up. So I want to give you the game. I want to lead you to the water. Now, if you drink it, that's on you. Yes. Like what Frederick Douglass said, it's easier, I believe it's Frederick Douglass, he said it's easier to train a child than it is to heal a broken man, I believe. I'm paraphrasing. But that really resonated with me when I do work with young people, because they're a sponge. Everything that you say and do, they're going to take it and they're going to put their own flavor with it and make it make sense. That's what I love doing. That's why I'm very passionate about it. Crypto space and this podcast is really going to help me be able to get that message out to the world, to build something, a better tomorrow for them, so we're not in the same position 60 years from now that we are in today.
And that's what Lead Your Lineage Podcast is all about. Like you said, we trying to guide into a different realm of the world. This podcast right here is for people who's tired of being in the same boat. Like you
sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Absolutely.
Like you said, because people, when you learn things when you're a child, you get comfortable in those ways. You get set in those ways, and also because self has memory. So if you're doing something that your ancestors was doing, even though it's not uplifting you and bring you to the next level, you are comfortable with that. So this right here, this podcast is for people who are tired of being comfortable. If you want to be comfortable, this is not for you. We pushing the limits. We pushing you to the limits, teaching you new aspects of life. We have a lot of different guests that's going to be on here that are entrepreneurs in many different angles of life. So we hitting you with every angle of life, providing that information. This podcast is for people like that. This podcast is for the seekers. This podcast is for the go-getters. This podcast is for all that, man. If you ready to lead, and you don't have to necessarily lead the whole nation or a whole nation. If you ready to lead your family, your lineage,
lead yourself.
Lead yourself
right
into a better predicament. This podcast is for you, man. And like you said, because I want to elaborate on that. You said you was going on touching bases on how it's easier to teach the children, and it's hard. But as adults, man, we have to learn, because if we only teach the children, who are the children gonna look up to? If we teaching the children X, Y, and Z, and we doing B, Y, and T, they gonna be looking like, why we can't do B, Y, and T? You know what I mean?
I love that.
We have to be examples. We have to give them something to fall on. We have to give them something to look up to. We can't teach, and then they looking up, and most of the people who doing everything else, they gonna like, why can I not just do that? They gonna go back to cell memory. So this podcast right here is to kill those bad cells that you got in your body that keep us, especially us melanated people, that keep us in a bad predicament, in the same bowl, at the same plate. You're scraping up the same piece of food. I know you're tired of eating them ramen noodles. It's time for you to get a steak, man. And I ain't talking about no regular steak. I'm talking about the boys at Ruth Chris, the $100 boys. You know what I mean? I want $100 steak. You know what I mean? For real. So that's what this podcast is definitely for, cuz. And I just gotta elaborate on that. It's gonna take the adults as well in order to heal our community. We can't just keep teaching the kids. They're gonna have to have somebody to look up to.
Most definitely. And I'm definitely in agreement with that for sure. And I also too, when dealing with people in terms of leading, we have to meet them where they are too.
Agreed.
So with that being said, with meeting them where they are, when we do meet them where they are, we also have to be aware of the energy that is being exchanged. So once we reciprocate that, once we put this energy out like, hey, we're here to do X, Y, and Z for X, Y, and Z, and the energy's not reciprocated, we also have to be aware too of like, they may not be ready for this yet. So we have to keep being the light, the beacon of light for them. So like, I know like you and I, at times we may have felt like the black sheep of the family, right?
Yes. And
but
we
now,
blood cousins, by the way.
Yeah, we are. We blood cousins.
Blood cousins.
And like now it's like, instead of being the black sheep, we have to be the beacon of light for ourselves, for our family, and for our community. And like that's the space I'm in now. I went from like in 2021 went from that black sheep to like now I'm the beacon of light. Like, hey, this is what we gonna do it like this, y'all. We're gonna get together around this history. We're gonna learn who we are.
Yep. And
then we're going to positively transmute this energy outwardly to be able to change people. That's what we on.
And I agree, cuz. And you said earlier how you had to get comfortable with being around people. You said, I don't want to mess up your words, but you had to get comfortable of being your new self around people.
Yes.
And I totally agree, because with this journey, I've been on this journey for a minute. I started changing around 2017, 2018, around that time. And in 2021, I was also through a spiritual transition. It was the opposite of yours. You had to go within. I had to change what was out so I could change what was in. Because my out forces wasn't allowing me to see who I was inside. Because, like you said, because we are the energy that we are around. So I was around all these negative people, and I was trying to be positive. But it didn't work like that. Like I said, I've been changed all the way in 2017, 2018. But like you said, I was trying to change people with me. And I learned, like you said, because we can't change the ones who don't want to be changed. So this podcast is for people who do want to change. Because if you sit there, if you don't see, okay, if you have a money pouch or a cash box, you don't put your dollars with the hundreds. You don't put your fives with the tens. You don't put your 20s with the 50s. You put the value of that specific money with that money. You put the ones with the ones, the quarters with the quarters, the pennies with the pennies. And all of that makes sense, because why would you put something high value with something low value? It all makes sense. It's vibrations, because it's all vibrations. That's why me and you are here. That's why, like you said earlier, we considered black sheep of the family. But like you said, we really the light of the family. We the sun. The sun, even though it's many suns, the sun stayed alone, and it stays alone for the planets, what's that called? The solar system? It's one sun in the solar system, in our solar system. I don't know about another one, but one sun in our solar system, and it takes care of 9 planets. And that one sun is is the people who we trying to spark. We trying to spark you, give you that fire, so you can be that one sun that gives energy to the rest of your family. Look at your family as the plants. Each planet can mean something different, because each planet here on Earth is different. Maybe you got this family member, he not too good at this, but he's good at that. So you put him on game on crypto. Then you have another family member who's not good at crypto, not good at all of that, but he can sell something. So you put him on game with a clothing line. It's all, but y'all come together because y'all in the same solar system. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put everything together and give people different angles, give people the knowledge, give people the base. And how we gonna shoot this is we're gonna give you a guidance. And everybody, if you look at the world, all the greatest achievements was done by using nature for a guidance. For example, the airplane, it looks like a bird. Yeah. The tank looks like a elephant, which they got that from Africa. We'll go more into depth about that next podcast. A helicopter, it looks like those little pelican things. You remember? I don't know what the name of those, but those things that fall off the trees, that's what they got.
Yeah, we used to call them helicopters.
Helicopters, everything that was inspired by nature has been great. So tell them, cuz, how we gonna shoot this? How we gonna use nature to shoot this podcast by the seasons, cuz? Tell them how we gonna do the seasons, because.
Yeah, so how we're gonna break the podcast up, we're going to do it in 4 seasons. So the winter solstice, we're gonna start with that. That's gonna, in the winter time, you go inside because it's cold outside. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go inside to be able to stay warm, to be able to keep the fire lit, essentially. Okay. So during the winter months, we'll talk about the spiritual development, how to develop from the internally and exude it externally. We'll talk about that inner work, that shadow work that we need to do as a people to be able to be who we need to be for people outside of ourselves. Then we go to, and that's the winter solstice, and we'll go into the spring equinox, right? The official New Year is March 21st, according to the Roman calendar. That's when you can start planting seeds into the earth to be able to produce fruit. Depending on where you live in geographically, of course, where you're watching this video. But that's when you put the seeds into the ground, so you can reap your fruit. So that's like that's the time where we're gonna talk about, okay, what seed can I plant now that can grow? Okay, that's when we interviewing people that want to start a business. That's when we talking to people that want to start a family, want to get married, things of that nature. We talk about things that we can put in place that are going to help us grow. So that's going to be that season. Then we got the summer solstice. All right, and it's hot outside, everybody in the streets, we in there. You know what I'm saying? It's feeling good, sun out, long days, so that's when we're most productive, right? So then we're going to get more controversial during that time, because it's warming up. It's warming up, so we're gonna get into the heart that time. So we're gonna tap into like some stuff that's gonna make you like, damn, why did I think about it like that? Or like, what? Oh no, ain't no way. Then we provide them with some research on this is real. This is real out here. This is the spiritual warfare that we're going through that you may or may not see. So we're gonna cover some more controversial stuff, and then we have the vernal equinox, also known as fall. So that's when you really reap your harvest and prepare for what's coming, for that spiritual development, that internal work, that shadow work that you have to do. So in that vernal equinox, that's going to be when, okay, how do we prepare for the future? Okay, how do I put my business into a trust? How do I make sure my children has a 523 plan to pay for college? How do I get life insurance? How do I prepare for the future when I'm not here? So that's what we're gonna talk more into that aspect of planning for the future. Okay. During that time. So it's gonna be hella dope, y'all.
Dope. I mean, it's gonna be something that gives you a view. And another thing we're gonna discuss is the 360. You want me to?
Please elaborate. Yeah, dive into that. Yeah, let's get it.
Real quick before we end this tremendous video. The 360, man. The 360 is a circle. 360 is let me go into more detail. You know when you had a 2K player back in 2011, where you can make him 99 almost on all the stats. We doing that. So we taking that concept and we implement it in real life. Why we can't? Okay, you got a great business. Okay, how's your family life doing? Okay, you got a great family life. How's you doing yourself as a person, not as a husband, not as a father, not as a businessman. How are you doing personally, spiritually? So we doing this 360. And we like to say it's 360 days on earth because that makes a full circle. So we just teaching real legitimate ideas and concepts that can really help you grow as an individual. 360 is every day. Every day you grow, and you got to grow more as a person into every aspect of life. So you got anything else to say about the 360 concept? Because
yeah, it's really in that context, I see a lot of people that aren't focused on being whole, being that whole 360. Like I see people that are phenomenal business people, right? Yeah. But their home life is in shambles. I see people that have a phenomenal home life, right? So they're a phenomenal father, but their spouse is like not rocking. It's like they're unhappy because of something that this person does, or a phenomenal mother or father, right? I'm observing people have the best social life in the world, but they have no recollection of who they are and what their purpose is. They haven't done that. They haven't done that winter solstice work to go within, so you never go without. Like Lauren Hill said, "How you gonna win if you ain't right within?" Got all the clout socially, right? But when everybody's away and the door closed, they're miserable. Like we're seeing all those things. So we're talking about developing as people, spiritual beings,
spiritually, physically, all around the board,
emotionally, socially, all of that. We're talking about that holistic 360 approach to be able to be better spiritual beings living the human experience.
Yes,
that's what we are.
Yes,
that's what this podcast.
This podcast, it's all around, man. We're not teaching one side of the scale. We teaching both sides of the scale. We even teaching what goes underneath the scale to keep the scale from tipping over. Everything matters. That's why we using nature. That's why we're shooting it as seasons.
And we're talking about the preventative maintenance on the scale too. How to maintain it. How to make, okay, we gotta get a bigger, all right, it's getting heavy now, we gotta build a bigger scale. We talking about all that.
Yeah, you already know.
Absolutely.
So make sure y'all tune in, make sure y'all hitting that like button, make sure y'all hitting that subscribe button if this is on YouTube. Hey, and if you on any platforms, share us on Instagram, share us on the TikTok, share us on Facebook, share us on ebook. Share us on any platform you on, man. LinkedIn, hey, I don't care if I see us on Tinder, I'ma swipe left. You know? Or swipe right. I don't know
what. I think it's right.
I'ma swipe right. You know, so definitely, man. So make sure y'all stay in tune. This is a real family. We open up real family discussions. Really talking about going to depth about being an entrepreneur, every angle. We got a lot of different people we know that they can give y'all information. Just make sure y'all keeping in tune with us, man. For real.
You got any closing remarks, Cuz?
Yep. Stay melanated. Make sure every day you get progression. Slow progression is better than no progression. So even if you get better 1% each day, by the end of the year, you 365% better than you was at the beginning of the year. So always keep a positive mindset. You got anything to say, because?
Yeah, I'll leave the people with this. This is my favorite quote from Arthur Ashe. Favorite quote of all time. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. This is episode 1 of the Lead Your Lineage Podcast, right? We're literally filming this in a basement. Filming this in the basement, right? Yeah. But it's gonna be this is an A1 production, right?
A1.
We're starting where we are. We're in the basement filming this podcast.
This basement feel like we at ABC Studios.
Exactly. That's how we doing it, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to use what we have. We have a camera, we have a voice, we have personality, and we have a plan. Now we're gonna do what we can, and that's to impact people and change lives. And with that being said, putting all those things together. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. That's like, that quote grounds me whenever I'm getting away from whatever I'm working on. I can always go back and ground myself and center myself within that quote, and that helps me help myself help others. So wanted to lead the people with that and share that perspective on that. And as we close out, man, thank you for listening to the very first episode of the Lead Your Lineage Podcast, family. We will be back, and we will be better.
Tell them one more time before we get out. What's Lead Your Lineage Podcast? One more time.
Absolutely. And as we close, the Lead Your Lineage Podcast is the #1 podcast for individuals that are seeking to end generational dysfunction. And with that being said, see y'all next time.
All right, stay melanated.
Peace.